Yo, what's good? Griffin13 here back in the day, and today, guys, I am here for another Horizon Top 5s. I know it's been a while, and I do apologize for that. I just haven't had the time, really, to be doing it. I've been doing some other things, but now that we're all in quarantine, I guess maybe I'm going to try and make some time. Although, to be honest, I find that in quarantine, I even have less time than I used to before. I know that might sound kind of weird, but, I'm working from home, and honestly, when I was going to the office every day, I was having some social interaction. I'm an extroverted person, so I gain energy from talking with people. So when I start feeling low, I get up, I go talk with someone real quick, and then I have enough energy so I can get right back to it. Being here in my house, honestly, a lot of times, I have no energy at the end of the day, and it just feels like I don't have enough time to do any of these. But we're not here to talk about quarantine and all that sort of stuff. We're here to talk about the top 5 Toyota cars that I want to see come to Forza Horizon 4. Now, we'll go ahead and start off by mentioning this. The top 2 cars are pickup trucks. I know you guys, or not the top 2 cars, the first 2 cars that is anyway on my list. I know some of you guys are going to be like, ugh, I don't want to hear about trucks, but don't worry. I got some good surprises for you later on down the line that we're going to go ahead and talk about. But coming in at number 5, what we have is the 2018 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. This is a vehicle that I absolutely fell in love with. I honestly, still to this day, want one of these so bad. When I was buying my truck, when I went and bought my Silverado, I was originally shopping for this truck. I wanted this truck so bad because honestly, it is just absolutely amazing. When I got behind the wheel of it, everything is nice and firm. It was still basically a brand new truck at that time. I was test driving one that had like 20,000 miles. It honestly feels kind of like a sports car driving on the road. It's not very quick. It's got like 200 some odd horsepower. It's nothing super duper fast. But the amount of aftermarket parts available for this is just absolutely astonishing. I had my whole build ready to go. I knew what parts I wanted. I knew exactly everything that I wanted about this truck. And I thought it was the coolest thing too because it had wireless charging. So if you got one of the TRD versions, it actually came with wireless charging. I thought that was so cool. The only reason I didn't get it is because it was too expensive. It was about another $5,000 more than what I paid for my truck. And honestly, it was just, I loved it. I really did. No one else in my family really liked it, but it didn't matter to me about them. My sister got in the back, she was like, I'm cramped. And my dad was like, this doesn't really have a whole lot of space. And since, I'm a bigger guy, I'm currently on a weight loss plan and all that sort of stuff. It was a little bit cramped, but I loved it. I really did. It kind of felt like being in like a little sports car. I know it's kind of weird to say, but the other thing about the Toyota Tacoma is that when you want to buy a car that can go off-road and can handle off-roadness, you want a good vehicle. And when it comes to that, the 2 main go-tos is a Jeep Wrangler or a Tacoma. They're pretty evenly matched in that category. I know technically I think the Wrangler is a superior vehicle when it comes to like rock climbing, but a Tacoma is so dependable, so reliable. It's going to get you places that you wouldn't normally, and I love that about this vehicle. Moving on down the list, we come to the number 2 vehicle that was on my list, and that is the 2018 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. You guys see a little pattern here? I like the TRD Pros, the Turd Pros. They're so nice, so nice. But the reason why I chose this year in particular is because it is post facelift. They did have a first generation, and I really liked them until the next one came out, and then the next generation came out and went, ooh, that is so much nicer. Not a whole lot changed. If you stack these up together, you can pinpoint the differences, but they look very similar. There are some distinct differences, like in the grille and the headlights, but overall, they really do look the same. And the thing about this truck is it's kind of the biggest 1500 series, I guess I'll say that, or half ton. It's like the biggest, no, not half ton, this is a 3/4 ton. This is like one of the biggest 3/4 ton trucks out there. The Tacoma's the half ton, this is a 3/4 ton, or as I would say, I normally just go with 1500 series. It's easier for me to remember that way, because you have the F-150, the Ram 1500, the Silverado 1500, You know, this is the Toyota 1500 basically. That's basically what it is. But the thing is though is this is probably the biggest one out of that whole category, which of course leads to one major problem with it. It is a gas guzzler. Like, this thing gets like 5 or 6 less miles per gallon than my truck does. And, you know, it's got this VA, it's got all that sort of good stuff, but it is just not good on gas at all. But man, I've seen some really, really cool ones. In fact, one of the coolest ones I've ever seen is actually built by Rutledge Wood. And it's kind of a shame for a truck to like be, for like this kind of truck to be lowered, but looking at this one, it's so nice. I really, really do like what he did to this truck. I do. I really, really do. But the thing is, I would never do this to a Tundra. My Tundra would be lifted. I'd have to have that TRD Pro Grill. That TRD Pro Grill is, ooh, so fine. But I love this truck. I really do, and I'd love to see it come to Forza. Coming in at number 3, I think you guys are going to be a little surprised with this pick, but it is the 2017 Frederick Casabo Formula Drift Toyota Corolla. I don't think you guys saw that one coming on this list, but honestly, when I think about that car, it's a rear-wheel drive Corolla, which is just absolutely unheard of, because I think they finally introduced all-wheel drive as an option, which made it so that you could possibly have a Corolla all-wheel drive to convert it to a rear-wheel drive, and you could use it in Formula Drift. And honestly, this thing is just an absolute beast. It has 1,000 horsepower in a Corolla. Like, oh my god, just it's absolutely asinine. But I think this thing looks so good. It looks so good. I love how the new Corollas look. I probably would never own one though, because they are front-wheel drive for the most part. Most of them are front-wheel drive. There is an all-wheel drive optional extra, and I might consider getting that one, but I would have to like find ways to like boost the power in them. I think I would still, the Corolla for me, it's a little bit higher than a base Civic, but I would rather buy the base Civic, I think, because I honestly like how the new base Civics look, but I would probably not buy either of those cars anytime soon, because honestly the next car I'm thinking about, I've got it in my head, and I know some of you guys are going to be like, why are you going to buy that? Because I've put it out before that, you know, my next car, there's all these other things, but I kind of want an Audi RS5. But going back to the Corolla though, I like how they look. I really, really do, especially the Corolla hatchback. And I could definitely see that coming into the game just by itself, just a newer Corolla hatchback, because it would make a great front-wheel drive race car, like a little A-class race car or something like that. It would be fantastic. Then we also have the option for all-wheel drive, because it is an optional extra on these vehicles. But a Formula Drift car, ooh, I'm really, really digging it. I'm really, really digging it. And, you know, it's not like we haven't got Formula Drift cars here recently. I mean, we just got the 599 and the Corvette, and those are pretty unique cars, so why not a Corolla? Coming in at number 2, what we have is the Toyota Celica GT4 ST205, which, if you guys know me, not really surprising here. I've loved this car to death. I love it so much. It's one of the few cars that I absolutely want to import into the United States. There is one for sale recently. I did see on like some importer site, there was one for sale in the United States, and they didn't want too terribly much money. And honestly, I was thinking about it like, I could possibly swing it, but I would probably not end up buying a house, because honestly, that's another thing I've been looking at recently, is with my job, I'm starting to make enough money, I can buy a house. And I might be moving soon, so that's all that sort of stuff I've been thinking about. But the ST205, specifically the GT4, I honestly love it. We never got the all-wheel drive version here in the United States. We only got the front-wheel drive version, which is pathetic. Nobody wants it. It's rusting in people's yards, and it's grown up with grass. They went to junkyards. That's what happened to a lot of these cars, because a lot of people just didn't really want them. They aren't very powerful. They aren't necessarily super pretty to a lot of the mass audience of the United States. You know, to us car guys, they look absolutely fantastic, and there's a lot of rally heritage with them. But that heritage was bred into the GT4s. And I really want to get one of these, and I really fell in love with these in Horizon 3 because I made a tune, and every single time I would use that tune, people would go, holy shit, what the hell is in that? And I know that I'm not going to have one that is going to be that powerful, but it's honestly left such a positive opinion to me about this car that I really kind of look back and it's like, you know, I could throw on some like twin turbos and I could redo the internals and I could, you know, boost the power up on this and I could put lift kit and rally suspension and all that sort of stuff on it, and I could turn this into an actual race car and I could take it out rallying, and that's a dream of mine right there. That is a dream of mine. Odds of that happening are very, very slim. They truly are, but I would love to do that someday. I absolutely would. Then finally coming in at number 1, we have, is that a Supra? Yes, guys, of course. This was going to make the list. You should not be surprised. You should not be surprised. But the 2020 A90 Toyota Supra, of course, was going to make an appearance on this list. It's top 5 Toyotas. I mean, this thing is the brand new flagship car of Toyota. Of course, it's going to make its way onto this list. I mean, I honestly, when I first saw them, I kind of thought, wow, that's kind of ugly. Like, honestly, when I was looking at it, I thought, you know, that's a good looking car, but I don't really see where the aftermarket is going to go with this. And then the aftermarket went with it, and I saw some of like the wide body kits out there for these, and I just, holy crap, they look so good. There's one guy, I can't remember his name, and he actually built 2 of these. He built one for himself and he built one for another company to give away. And just the body kit, the work that went into it, I just fell in love with it. I really did. It's one of the few things that has made me go, wow, I really want a Supra. I look at these and I want one. But the problem is, though, as I keep thinking about it, it's like, for the amount of money that a Supra costs, I could get a Corvette and one of the new ones that's mid-engine and basically is like a Ferrari, and people have been saying that they handle like Italian supercars, and it's $60,000, and it's the closest thing you're ever going to get to a Italian supercar at that money, and it just makes me think, holy shit, I would rather have that. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to think about, but the Supra, though, it looks so good. It looks so good, and I really would love to own one of these someday. Maybe someday down the line when they're cheap and falling apart, and everyone's like, you know, oh yeah, that's a really cool car. I remember when I had one of those 20 years ago. Maybe I'll be able to get one then, but until that day, it's a pipe dream. It is a pipe dream, but oh, it is a good looking car, and of course it was going to make this list. So anyway, though, that's where we're going to wrap things up for today. Leave a comment down below and let me know which car on this list are you guys most excited about. Do you like the pickup trucks and the Tacoma or the Tundra? You want a Formula Drift car? You know, that'd be pretty nice too. Or do you want something a little bit more street worthy, but also absolutely amazing in its own right, with the Celica GT4 or the A90 Toyota Supra? Leave your comment down below, as I'm curious to hear what you guys got to say. As well, if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Garrett113 and Instagram.com/Garrett113. And if you like this video, go make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe, more videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Bye.